Wow, it looks like I have a halo. How's that? Is that better? Hopefully this Wi-Fi is going to be okay. At the hotel, motel, Holiday Inn. Just kidding. I'm not at Holiday Inn, but I'm very close to Holiday Inn. So, it almost came out my mouth that this was an accident. But you know as well as I do, there are no accidents. So, live from NASA, or almost. Apparently, I'm 10 miles away. When I volunteered to come here, I didn't know where I was going. So I was having a block delay challenge reading with a friend. I didn't ask to disclose her personal information, and I'm pretty sure she wouldn't want me to. So I'm not going to. However, oh wow, it's 10:10. It's Friday night, or at least I'm pretty sure it's Friday night, and I just got out of the shower, and you know me, I have no cares. So here I am. I had to borrow a pen from the hotel front lobby, and I want to tell you how not thrilled they are that I'm staying here. So, funny story. The whole thing's a funny story, actually. I had a block delay challenge reading. Hello, Susan Ferguson, aka Queen Star Sophia. I had a block challenge reading with a friend who was in Florida. I didn't know she was in Florida. I think I've talked to her maybe twice. She had a reading, and I talked to her about a year and a half ago. So most of you, I'm not sure where you live. If I talk to you on a regular basis, I definitely know where you are. Hello, Libra girl, and welcome. So I was talking to her, and we didn't end up doing any cards whatsoever. She ended up telling me what was going on in her life, and I said, hey, if you need help with, getting organized or getting some stuff done around your house, you know, buy me a plane ticket. I'll come down there, right? So here I am. I got here on November 2nd at around 6:30ish or something after my 3-hour cab ride. Almost. So anyway, I said, if you need help, organizing, whatever, I'll come down there. Not even really realizing she was in Florida, and it just got cold in Ohio, so I'm game. And one of my favorite things to do is to be militarily organized. And like if the power ever went out, and it's happened many times, I don't need lights because I know where every single thing in my entire house is, including my storage bin in the basement. Okay, that's how I am. So I offered my services. um, and yeah, so here I am in Titusville. Interestingly enough, NASA is my neighbor. I was a little bit startled. And again, I didn't know NASA was in Titusville. Okay, so I walk in the library, and there's a light into the lobby, and there's a life-size mannequin down there of a space guy in a spacesuit. And then I turned around, and there's a huge sign, I couldn't decide which to use for the video, that said, Atlantis, welcome to the new journey. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Because we all had those Atlantean memories, or maybe those Atlantean feelings, or whatever, right? So, yes. So, is the Marriott happy to see me? I'm doubting it. Are they going to remember who I am? You can bet your ass they are. Let me tell you what happened. So I had a flight and a layover on the way here. So it took me 6.5 hours to get here. My layover, however, was in Maryland, and I never got off the Maryland plane. I was supposed to not get off the Maryland plane, but you know me, I can't sit still. So I ran up and down the airport for 45, 50 minutes and then almost didn't make it back on my plane again. Yeah. So anyway, I'm here in Titusville, Florida. And when I got here, I met up with my friend. We had a little talk. And then we went to Walmart to try to score some organic food or something in this town I could eat, because I so forgot that Florida has no idea what gluten-free is, has no idea what GMOs are. So many funny stories already in just 2 days. But anyway, we went to Walmart, scored some food, and then I came back to my hotel and used the key, worked just fine. And then this morning, I left after one night in the hotel, and I was basically gone with the person I came down here to help all day. When I came back, shocking surprise, my electromagnetic key would not let me in the door, so I messed around with it for a really, really, really long time. Hopefully the hotel Wi-Fi is okay. I thought that might be better than my phone Wi-Fi, and I'm trying it, but I see a lot of people dropping off, so let me know if it's not working. Anyways, I couldn't get in with my key. And so the lady, the operator at the front desk, was walking me through how to work the electromagnetic door. And after many failures, I called back and she said, I'll just come up. And I knew this was going to happen, but she like walks straight up to the electromagnetic key, touches the card. Of course, it's a green light instantly. She opens the door and she just looks at me. And I said, I knew this was going to happen. Okay. And trust me, it's not that I don't know how to work your little electromagnetic door. Have you ever just known somebody that did wonky stuff to electricity? And she's like, well, now that you mention it, my brother-in-law can't wear a watch and kind of messes with stuff. I said, well, that's my issue. So she came up here and fixed it. I went back outside to take a walk, came back up, and it wouldn't work again. So the front desk has been up here pretty much every time I need to leave my door. And because I can't sit still, they've been here constantly. So the front desk knows me well. Now, why am I here 10 miles from NASA? I don't know, but I can tell you that once I got over the extreme fear of being up in the air, because this is only the third time in my life I've ever even been on a plane, and I haven't been on a plane probably 7 years. I saw what I can only describe as some really long, all white spacecraft with no wings. And I saw two of them. And I took, as my neighbor can testify, I took many, many incredible pictures out the plane window. And I just, because you can use your camera with your phone on airplane mode, right? So I took many, many awesome pictures, and the phone was just sitting there next to me this entire time. And so whenever I saw something awesome, I would just reach down and grab my phone, right? That's so weird. We went from 15 people on here down to 4. So hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Yeah, I don't know who you are asking me, demanding my name. My name is on my channel. You can leave. That's your priority, your prior. I can't talk. It's your priority to leave. My name is on my channel. So there you go. Anyway, so I had the phone in the seat next to me, but whatever these things were, every time I saw one, they were so fast that I could not get any picture. Before I even had my phone in my hand, whatever this craft is was completely gone. So it was really super, super quick. The reason I'm here at the moment is not to brag that I'm somewhere warm. with palm trees. It's because of, and I would have probably made this video 2 days ago if I hadn't been on a plane and had all this excitement, right? But on October 30th, when I was laying in bed, I started seeing what I can only describe as like a spiral of light. And it was bright gold, almost with a copper hue. So like gold with a slight pinkish hue to it. And it was incoming plasma is the only thing that I can describe it as. Now, I will tell you that, let's see, I think it was October, 30th, then the 31st and the 1st. Yeah, that's right. So October 30th, October 31st, and November 1st, I was seeing it. It was just a big spiral of golden light that had a cast to it that was like a copper pinkish cast to it. And it was incoming plasma, but it was also this brilliant goldish pink light particles. So it was a spiral, but it was a bunch of light particles that were making up the spiral. Now, normally when I see things, I hear things as well. And that was definitely not the case when this started on October 30th. I just kept seeing it. And you know that monkey mind that I always so love to talk about. I was in the US and I actually saw it in the US. There's a lot of people on here that I've never seen before. That's really interesting. And just for the people that are here that I don't normally see, I don't ever read the comments after the first few minutes. I get, it disrupts my connection to the Clear channel or multiple streams where information are coming in. But I was flying down the East Coast to Florida when I saw the aircraft with no wings, if that's what you're asking. Where did you see it? So I'm not sure if you're talking about that or if you're talking about the golden rose light that I actually saw in my bed as I was waking up in the morning. So I saw that for 3 days, and it was in a spiral, almost like an electromagnetic waterfall is what it looked like. And it was golden, or like a rose gold color, incoming plasma. It was particles, yet it was a wave simultaneously. And it was way different than previous times, because normally when I see something like this, there's some sort of audio, even if it's just a frequency. Sometimes those things come with words. Sometimes they just come with a frequency that comes also with like a buzzing sound. So with this, there were none of those things. So it was 3 days of just a golden particle, yet simultaneous wave of frequency with no sound, which was very, very unusual for me. But it was extremely, extremely strong, very, very strong. And I was laying there, and the monkey mind, as I always love to talk about, the brain was going, what is this? Where is it coming from? How long is it taking to get here? All that kind of stuff. But this energy, unlike solar things or future things or even things from the other side that I very often see, this was so relaxing. Just the sight of it, I just dropped into this state, and I said to myself, what else matters other than this very moment? And it's hard for me when I see things and hear things, when all of these clairaudience and clairsentience and all that stuff just marches in out of nowhere. I mean, sometimes in the grocery store line, it couldn't be absolutely anywhere. It happens to me a lot in public. You can ask my neighbor about that. She's like, what's going on? But every time I saw it for 3 days straight, when my mind went to think, what is this? Where is this coming from? How long is it going to take to get here? You know, the usual stuff that kind of flows into me. I heard the same thing every time. what matters other than this moment of now. Now, we hear all the time that we should live in the moment, right? But even though we know that, that doesn't mean we live in the moment in every moment. A lot of times our mind is thinking, what am I seeing? Where is this coming from? I have never seen such erratic numbers on a Facebook Live or a YouTube Live in my entire life, you guys. I'm going from 2 to 18 to 5 and back up to 10 in like a matter of seconds. So it just kept coming through. What matters other than this moment? And every time that happened, my brain would just stop, and the intensity of this waterfall of like plasmatic electromagnetic particle yet simultaneous wave would intensify every time I could relax and not ask what it was. So I get here last night, and I spent 2 hours in the airport, and then 3 hours on the first plane, an hour layover that I ended up running up and down the airport almost the entire time. I get back on the plane, it's another 3 hours. The cab ride from the airport was an hour and a half. Then we went to Walmart. All I wanted to do was come back here and lay my butt down in this awesome hotel bed and go to sleep. And as soon as I laid down, it was probably like 10:45. Whatever I'd been seeing for 3 days straight, the audio was 3 days behind. So, like the video was running October 30th, 31st, and November 1st, and then the audio trickled in last night at 10:44 as I was trying to go to sleep. And the audio was the loudest audio I have ever heard accompanying any kind of energy ever. I've been somewhat hyper ever since, as you can kind of tell by my voice. Yeah, so 10:45, I'm hearing it so loud, and it's easy when you're tired or stressed out or in an unusual place to want to put the TV on, or in the hotel, watch something on YouTube or watch movies, whatever. I have all that stuff, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be totally relaxed in the energy, but I laid here for almost 3 hours in an extremely comfortable bed and was just not able. I was just not able to get to sleep with the sound of that energy for 3 hours. And once I finally got to sleep, it was probably close to 2 a.m. I woke up at 3:30, then I woke up at 4:44, and then I woke up at 5 and really debated just getting up. And then I was able to actually fall back asleep and sleep until like 7 o'clock in the morning. But that 3-day delay audio, if I knew more about quantum physics or quantum mechanics, I would maybe understand this. And I'm sure in the next couple days, in the next week, more of that information will come through. But that audio was so loud that it kept me awake almost the entire night last night. So whatever we have coming in is going to be bigger than what we had on October 18th or 19th. So, in the last video, I had talked about previous videos and the short video talking about an energy that was going to come in the next couple weeks, that it was going to be unlike anything we've ever seen. And then there was an article written on the 19th about something that happened on the 18th, saying that in a nanosecond, we basically received 30 years worth of solar emissions in one foul swoop, right? In a nanosecond. So that happened on October 19th. This is even bigger than that. I've never seen something for 3 days straight. Normally, when I see something, even if I meditate on it, I might see it on and off for an hour or two. I've never seen a video or a visual, or what I call a video, not a video, saying a visual vision, if you will. So that went on for 3 days. Last night, I can still hear the frequency, and this frequency, unlike the last frequency, which was the majority in the right ear, this one is the majority in the left ear. Now, this started before I got on a plane, and when I was on the plane, I have never felt, again, this is only my third plane ride, but I have never ever experienced a kind of immense pain in my ear. I felt like I didn't even think I was going to make it. And there was a lot of engine noise and whatever on the plane. So I literally sat there going, oh, I was doing deep breathing, everything. The ear pain was absolutely excruciating. I had a castor oil patch on the hotel in the hotel on my ear for I've been soaking in that for the past 2 hours. This whatever this is going to be huge, and as I spoke in, I don't like to repeat myself, you guys know that. I spoke about in the last video that our body is the most advanced technology. I've been saying that for over a year. So when we hear these things, the monkey mind tendency is to run and look at the Schumann resonance or look at charts and see if there's anything registering. But lately, these things have been intense and not registering, or registering very shallow when they're very high, or the machines get taken offline, or maybe the website just happens to go down, or there's all of these things happening around these things. Wow, I just saw something out of the corner of my eye. So if I was having the vision of it for 3 days, and so far, the audio has been running for, the audio has been running for 24 hours. Now, it's not as loud, I don't think it's as loud as it was last night, but when I'm talking or listening to someone or watching anything, which I've been doing very minimal of, obviously I can't hear it as much as when I'm completely silent. And most of the time in the hotel, when I'm by myself, I've been completely and totally silent. So, related or not related, everything is synchronicity and everything is related. I know that. But I started getting information, and you guys got to know, and this is not a cap on anyone or anything, but because of some of the information that a lot of people have just been finding out in the last couple years, I've known about for a really long time. Med beds I've known about for 10, 11 years, right? So things like this. And if you are one of those people, you're probably also frustrated. Yeah, it's coming out, next week, for 12 years, for 10 years, with so many of these things, right? But when I started using copper to make all those copper coils for my garden for electroculture, I started getting downloads of information, like from Tesla files is the only thing I can say. That's the only thing wow, this is crazy. I should not be looking at the numbers, because it just makes me feel like my Wi-Fi is not working at the hotel or something, because we go 18 down to 4. But anyway, when I started touching copper every day and making these coils for the gardens, then I started making like decorative antennas for the wall out of grapevine I was pulling from the woods and all this stuff. And the more I did that, the more information I got. So basically what I have now, and these things come through when our body gets stressed out, which is why I try to be so strict on the food, the exercise, the sleep, all of that is because when the body gets stressed out, these kind of things stop, right? So when I got to Florida, when I was walking around today, the information started coming through. Now, I'm not telling you that I'm receiving some download from Nikola Tesla about how to build these med beds that people have been talking about. This is something different. So this involves copper coils and a chair, actually, not a bed. So you build some sort of copper apparatus, like on both sides of the body where you sit in this chair. So you have one, so I'm not used to going back to the phone. So you have one on each side, like a coil on both sides of the body, back at the chair, right? A copper rod or a stick with copper wound up, spiral connected to the chair with some sort of organic whatever, string, whatever. But the basic gist of it is copper coil on both sides of the body, and then there's a copper coil also at the top that involves crystal. But I had, in the last couple weeks, got extremely stressed out. So I'm really glad that that information started to come back through today on how to finish that, because there are so many people that need assistance, and there are so many things that are so cheap, that are so healing, that so many of us don't know about. So I'm going to build this, and that will come later. Yes. It's very interesting. So I just wanted to come on here and give a short update. Now, whenever I'm invited to go somewhere, and this has happened to me a lot, my family is used to it. I didn't even tell them anything this time other than my dad. I just said, here's the name, the telephone number, and the address of the place that I'm going this time. My mom's like, love you, bye. No cares to be given in that department. They're used to me. I've been doing this since the end of 2016. Okay, sometimes more than other times. When I'm going somewhere, there's always an invitation to go somewhere and a 3D reason or a physical reason that that person has invited me to go to that geographical location. And what I always find out, sometimes a year later, sometimes 6 months later, sometimes 2 days into the trip, sometimes 6 minutes into the trip, I never know what the reason is outside of physical reality of the third dimension. When I opened the door to the hotel and it said Atlantis, welcome to the new journey, and there is a life-size NASA mannequin, it took me back for just a second, because I didn't know until 2 days before that I was going to Florida, that I was going to Titusville, and then I didn't know until talking to the person that I'm visiting, that I'm 10 miles from NASA. And I thought, how appropriate. We're so connected with this technology, and I don't know, the rest of it will come later. It's so weird. Now people are messaging me in the middle of the video. But anyway, the only thing I do know now is that I'm 10 miles from NASA. And I know that every single time I've gone somewhere and every single time I've been invited to go somewhere, it is never for the reason that I'm initially invited to be here. There's some sort of connection to us being able to be out there in the world, being naked, being vulnerable, and being expressive as who we are as human beings. And that is connected to our star lineage. I expect that that's also connected to other things, possibly even Starlink. Okay. But when it comes to healing and when it comes to what we came here to do, whether for you that's healing or something else, everything that everyone on this planet that chose a mission came here to do has to do with healing, whether that's plants, whether that's animals, whether that's ley lines, whether that's human bodies, whether that's relationships with other beings who share this planet that most people are not aware that are here. There's going to be balance, there's going to be justice, there's going to be fairness, and there's going to be equality within this structure of planet Earth, with the people who came here to heal, that have been hiding, that have been targeted individuals, all of that kind of stuff. Okay, we are connected, we are one big race, no matter how many millions of races, right? Everything had its point of inception, and we are connected back to the source and the point of inception, right? Everything works with us, okay? And the healers, no matter what capacity we are healing in, every healer came to this planet to heal themselves, the relationships with other star beings that are our family, the planet, the animals, all of those kingdoms. Um, so that is what we came here to do, and that's what we're going to do. And for millennia, many people have had to, hide their gifts, hide their healing abilities, hide the real reason they came to the planet, only talk to people in groups, on Facebook or social media platforms, hiding out and those sort of things. That it's time for this to be in your face and mainstream like everything else, right? So when one part of polarity amps up, the other part of polarity amps up too, right? It's not a one-way street. So as we're watching all these things, media, social media platforms, the government, politics, as we're everything that's into that, gender identity, everything, we're seeing an outburst in every single thing. And on one side of the scale of justice, we're seeing and it's in our face because we can't correct it if we don't know it exists. But on the other side of that scale of balance, we came here to be who we are. And as I said, heal ourselves as a star nation, all the way back to the inception point of the human being, meaning a hominid, right? 2 legs, 2 arms, and a head. All of us have the same inception point, and we all came here with the capability to heal. And I just ask that you remember, as you feel like, violence is really in your face, or negativity is really in your face, or all these things that are dark or uncomfortable or shadowy are in your face, right? I'm not saying that we get in the faces of humanity or get in the face of the public because that's what's happening. I'm saying it is literally universally balancing itself out, and it's happening simultaneously, right? So as all this negative kind of upchuck makes its way into, social media, into the news, into the streets, into the grocery stores, everything. It's been going on. It's always been going on. But as I said, we can't change it till we know what's really, really, really going on. And in the last 4 years, we have had a crash course, if you weren't awake before that, on what is really, really, really going on, right? So now we come out there and we say, and doesn't matter. I don't think other people are like me. I don't expect other people to be like me. We're different. We're all beautiful in our own individual way. So in that, we will express ourselves and be open and be out there, right? On whatever way we put our energy out there, whatever our healing modality is, we are coming to the point where we are not going to be silenced. This is no longer the Salem witch trials. Now, I say that because I know so many of you that I've talked to have memories, some sort of memory of being burnt at the stake, and things like that are what have kept us close-lipped, right, for many, many years, many decades on this planet. And we're not doing that anymore. We're stepping out of that, and we are boldly going maybe where no man has gone before. Now, we can't say that because there are so many, masters that walked this earth that did go where we are going now. But right, it was a few select people. Now we're talking about the masses coming out and stepping forward and saying, we are a star nation. We came here to heal all of these things. I came to heal myself, the planet, the animals, the plant kingdom, to get back to what this was, right? Because the real medicine on this planet and the real healing on this planet is really, really going to take off at an expedited rate when humanity, and when I say that, When I say humanity, I'm saying anything with two arms, two legs, and a head. Okay, that's what I'm calling humanity. Our brothers and sisters, all races, right? When we see eye to eye, that's when we can heal, right? And all this superficial stuff that's on the news and all this stuff that's trivial, that's blown out of proportion, that's just a show, that's just a movie, all this stuff um, is not what the majority of this planet cares about. And I'm not saying that people don't care about that, right? Because the NPCs, they care the hell out of it, okay? They really do, because there is that component of keeping up with the Joneses and things like that. And I've never ever talked about NPCs until I made that last video. Okay, I've never written about it and I've never spoken about it. I've been speaking and writing about things since 2016. That's not a subject that has ever come up. But one thing about NPCs that I want you to know. Now, I think all human beings are beautiful, so don't get me wrong. And I'm not saying that every gorgeous person is an NPC either. But there is something genetically about NPCs where they look almost perfect, like Barbie dolls, okay? And that is for a reason. That is so that the things they do, the things they say, the fads, the things they promote, the things they speak about will be listened to, because people have a tendency, that's why they call it spokesmodel, right? You have models and then you have spokesmodels. When you want somebody to sell something, sell a brand, make it believable, you get someone that is educated, that can talk the talk, that looks like a doll. Okay, there's no other way to say it. And I'll say that the freaking Kardashians are the perfect example of NPCs. Okay, and again, I'm not saying there are millions of beautiful people. Humans, men and women alike, are beautiful, period. When you see somebody that looks like a Barbie doll, okay, Ken and Barbie, how funny, that movie came out this year. The NPCs were made genetically to almost look flawless, so that no matter what they were trying to accomplish, it would help them accomplish that. Okay? Whatever it was that gives the least resistance to that person, without the connection to source, getting ahead, getting on top, all of those things, all of those 3D programs with the almost spotless Ken and Barbie sort of appearance. And when I say that, I don't mean to say that there are not NPCs that don't have, dark hair and different skin colors or whatever. I'm saying those people look almost perfect, like dolls. And again, I'm not saying every beautiful person is an NPC, okay? But if you know someone who looks completely, totally flawless, and you feel like they can never connect to anything outside of like talking about cars or talking about money or, those kind of physical luxuries in life, it's a pretty good chance that that is actually what you're dealing with. And I don't know what's going on with the amount of people that are here. Not just the amount of people, but the comments. These are not comments I ever get from my normal following. So I'll look at this tomorrow. The couple times I looked down, I was going to really get distracted from this, and I didn't want to do that. And that distraction led me to making a 40-minute video, which I also did not want to do. I will come back with more information, the connection to the star beings. They have a tendency to hang out, those star beings, at naval bases, at places like the Kennedy Space Center, which is also right next to me. More to come on that. But copper and crystals, anybody is going to be able to make this healing thing probably for like $150. I haven't made it yet. But when I do, I'll have to get the neighbor or somebody to help me figure out how to stage that and do that. So more to come on the NASA thing. Okay. There's something about everything that goes on this planet. There is an echo of it. That's why I said last time, doesn't matter if you believe in Muhammad or Buddha or Jesus or Krishna, it doesn't matter, right? Because when you pray, when you meditate, when you use your voice to put your voice out there, right? Think of it like a parking garage, okay? So say you're praying to Jesus or Buddha or God. Doesn't matter who it is, doesn't matter what you believe in. Essentially, when you pray, when you meditate on that, it's like singing in a parking garage, right? There's a huge, incredible echo, and it comes back to you in the form of answers. And that's why it doesn't matter who you pray to. But unlike that parking lot, the parking garage example, what it really is that's answering you is the quantum field of everything that is and ever was. And that encompasses all those great masters. And that's why it doesn't matter who you're praying to, because when you're praying, when you're speaking into existence, you're getting a reverberation back from the quantum field that holds everything that ever was and ever is from every master that's ever gone on this planet. And if you think about it that way, it ends the religious argument, period. You're in a frequency, you're using your voice in a frequency to command down what it is, but you have to send out the energy of that. If I'm in a negative thought pattern and I'm praying, oh God, please save me, that kind of thing, it's nothing to do with who you pray to. It is, what is my frequency? What am I putting out, asking for, commanding? That's the frequency that's met back from you. So just like singing in a garage, you're going to get great acoustics, right? It's your frequency combined with what you're asking, what you're commanding, what you are creating with that energy. Doesn't matter what being's name you're using. That quantum field carries every master that's ever walked this earth and anywhere in the omniverse, and that's what's coming back to you from the parking garage, vocally, so to speak, from the quantum field. We are here to heal this and to balance this. And again, anytime anything happens in the 3D, it's because they figured out cosmically or energetically or quantumly that they can create something. And when they figure that out, that means that there is a connection for everything. What I mean by that, let's look at Starlink, okay? And I know nothing about Starlink other than the fact that it exists and that Elon Musk is in charge of it. So I don't know why this is coming through about Starlink right now. I don't think Starlink is even here, but I don't know. Starlink. So Elon Musk, if he's the one that's in charge of Starlink, figured that out. But it's because he received information either directly or from someone else that was a channel that was given directions on how to make Starlink. Now, that's neither here nor there, except for that I'm telling you, everything that's going on in physical reality is having a reverberation of equality and balance when it comes to this planet right now. So what that means is if Elon Musk can receive a set of directions and create Starlink, or someone gave him the directions to create Starlink, that means part of the reason that I'm here right now and part of what we're doing right now is mirroring things that are creating. So Starlink would already be a thing that has already been created in the omniverse, but it's completely energetic, and Elon Musk was given the directions on how to make it in 3D or how to make it in the physical. Okay, so it already existed. And in the omniverse, it exists in many places out there already. What we are doing right now, and why many of us are traveling around, and I've been going places, and like I said, there is a 3D, there is that physical reason, do this, but it's never the reason I traveled. It's never the reason. It's like the sidebar, right? You eat because you're hungry, right? But that's really not the reason you eat. You eat because the body needs fuel, and we get smart and we get intuitive about healing ourselves, and we connect with what we need to eat. This is the same thing. So Elon Musk has created Starlink. However, we are the real Starlink. That's what I'm telling you. This echo, this reverberation from the quantum field is telling us that when we are in balance, when we see eye to eye, when we, I'm not saying we stick our hand, bury our head in the sand and disregard things happening in 3D. I'm saying we use the gifts that we had. We connect together because we are the organic Starlink. Okay. And I know people are extremely worried about AI. It seems like it's all I hear about anymore. Okay. But Starlink really, again, I know it's called Starlink and I know Elon Musk is in charge of it. I knew nothing else prior to this video. The new people that may feel need to come with any sort of information about 3D material things, my channel has never been about that, then that's completely not what I'm talking about. This creative force of energy that exists in Starlink universally, multiversally, and omniversally, Elon Musk was given directions to make it in the physical. I am so clearly seeing that now. He was given the blueprint for that. Why this came up in this video of Starlink is because we are the real Starlink. There's always something in 3D, right? We are the strongest technology on this planet. I feel like I always want to keep reminding you of that. Doesn't mean we don't need to stand against things we don't believe in, including AI. It means we are balanced and we put ourselves out into a world that's peaceful, that people can understand, and we show who we are. There are more people who want to live balanced, fair, equal, happy, healthy lives connected to the nature and the organicness, beautifulness that exists out there in this universe, this multiverse, and this omniverse. And we have to remember that we outweigh any AI, we outweigh anything they have going on. So that was your live from NASA update. I will get back to you about whatever comes through. For now, I asked when I was coming back up the elevator, because I was pacing outside with no shoes for a while before I came in to make this video, if there was anything else. And then the song came on in the elevator right when I asked that question. And the song, I cannot remember who it is. It's from the 80s. But the gist of the matter is, you can't get what you want if you don't know what you want, okay? And a lot of humanity knows what they want. You and I know what we want, and we know what we came here for. And if we stand up for that, all the other people that have recently figured out why they came here, what they want to stand up for, will join us, and we will link together, and we will co-create this Starlink, this organic Starlink. Everything they do, everything they create, every blueprint that they're given, no matter where it comes from, is to show us something, to put something on stage for us. And I'm kind of shocked. I never really made the connection. Again, never looked at anything about Starlink ever. I'm not going to be on here for 12 million years. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I've never seen such erratic comments on here. I've never seen such erratic fluctuation in numbers ever. Maybe it's just because the word NASA is in the title. I don't know. But thank you very much for tuning in. Have a beautiful weekend. Until next time. Bye.